Okay, so welcome everyone to the Heart in Every Role, Fostering Connections. So this training is focusing on strengthening communications between volunteers and staff by introducing practical, empathy-based skills to foster connections and bring a better understanding to each role. Volunteers bring in warmth, care, and human connections to a blood drive. A friendly greeting, a calm reassurance, or a simple kindness can ease nerves for donors and help them feel valued and safe. Staff provide that medical expertise, that structure and consistency that keep blood drives safe and effective. They ensure that the procedures are followed correctly and donors are cared for properly and that all operations run smoothly. Together, every role plays a part in helping donors feel safe, respected, and appreciated. Reading through our caring communication visibility goals, making caring visible by incorporating skills, initiatives, and behaviors, serving internal and external customers at all levels, and every interaction, creating a caring culture every day. So, staff and volunteers, as we reviewed, bring different strengths, but together they create one unified team focused on donor care. Our ultimate goal is an environment centered around that teamwork. So, what is one goal that is important to you when you consider teamwork? So, something that when you think about a team and how you work within that team, what is important to you to see? Feel free to use the chat, come off mute, raise your hand, whatever you are most comfortable with. I see communication coming through. Collaboration. Paying attention to the needs of the team and the donor. Listening. Yeah, and some more listening. Feeling heard. So you guys all had some really great situations and teamwork, hearing. Some others that we might want to consider are things like clear rules and expectations. Just knowing how and when each person contributes prevents confusion or even exclusion. Knowing what the shared purpose is, forming those connections from aligned goals and constant interactions. Building mutual respect, making sure that those involvement levels may differ, but each contribution is recognized as meaningful. And then, of course, always ensuring psychological safety. So everyone feeling allowed to contribute, even if their role is limited or temporary. Building connections to belong as a team member seems like a pretty difficult idea, especially when considering that our staff work closely together every day, which naturally creates a stronger bond, shared routines, and a deeper understanding of ongoing tasks. This is very difficult for a volunteer who is only present once a month or even a few times a month to feel that same level of connection. So, feeling disconnected as a volunteer can be discouraging, especially when staff interactions start to feel robotic or purely task driven. So, in this module, we're going to learn how we can develop empathy based communication skills to help bridge that gap, allowing us to recognize better ways to approach the staff and build strong relationships to make a lasting impact. Some of these key skills include things like perspective taking, stepping into the staff's shoes to understand that their workload, stress, and routine demands that may limit emotional engagement. Bringing in non judgmental awareness, acknowledging that robotic behavior does not mean lack of care. It often reflects burnout, exhaustion, our focus on efficiency. Maybe even touching on some compassionate inquiry. So, opening dialogue gently with the staff by asking how they're doing, what challenges they're facing, or how you can support more effectively. making sure that you are relationally curious. So, showing interest in staff as people, not just as supervisors or task managers. And this really helps us restore a mutual connection. And then always remaining emotionally self aware and just being honest about your own feelings of disconnection without placing blame on others. And I'm going to go ahead and pass it to Judith, and she can talk to us a little bit about opening those lines to communication.
All right. Thank you so much, Rebecca. Okay, so opening lines of communication. So establishing open communications is about creating a safe, respectful space where both parties feel heard, understood, and valued, in which it creates trust. It's not just about talking, it's about connecting with others. Open communication relies on the synergy of three elements. Those elements are relational awareness, which helps you read the room and navigate interactions. Emotional intelligence, which ensures you handle your own and others' emotions appropriately. Communication strategy, which gives you structure and clarity to your message. When combined, they create an environment where people feel that they can trust the other person. They feel understood, respected, and valued, which is the foundation of effective and transparent communication. We're now going to dive into these three elements. So, starting with relational awareness, which is the ability to understand and notice how your relationships with others work. This includes paying attention to how your actions and words affect other people, noticing how others' attitude and behaviors also affect you, and remembering the human side of every interaction. Also, adjusting how you communicate based on different people and situation. These skills help to build trust because people feel noticed and they feel understood. It also reduces misunderstanding by helping you think ahead of how your words or actions may be taken. It encourages active listening as well. And now moving on to emotional intelligence, which is the ability to understand and manage your own emotions and to recognize and respond to the emotions of others as well. It includes self awareness, knowing how you feel, self regulation, which is controlling your reactions, and empathy, understanding how others feel and their cues as well. Also, social skills, communicating and working well with others. Emotional intelligence helps you manage your reaction and respond thoughtfully. It improves understanding of others. It builds stronger relationships, reduces conflict, and encourages teamwork by recognizing and managing emotions effectively. And then we have a communication strategy, which means carefully planning how you share information so your message is understood clearly. It includes what you say and how you say it. It also means thinking about who your audience is, when you communicate, the clarity and the tone of your message, and the goal of the communication. A good communication strategy makes the message clear, simple, and focused. It also reduces misunderstanding by matching the message to the audience. It promotes openness and consistency, and it encourages a two-way communication, not just one-way messages. For now, I'm going to send it back to Rebecca for more information and a fun activity for all of you.
Thank you so much for all that information. And it was a lot. And because of that, we're going to go ahead and together start applying that knowledge that we just learned. And we're going to try to put it into action with some common scenarios. So, in this section, I'm going to ask you guys to raise your hand, come off mute, place some things into the chat box. We are going to answer multiple choice questions for how we feel these communication strategies in line with some things that we see on our day to day. So, up first for the first question, a donor asks a medical question about donating. You're unsure of the answer, so you respond, "That's a great question. I'm not sure, but I'll get one of the collection staff to answer that for you. What skill do you feel is being demonstrated by this volunteer? Go ahead and answer A through C. So A being emotional intelligence, B being communication strategy, and C being relational awareness. Okay, we have a B coming in, more Bs, more Bs.
Looks like bees are winning.
Looks like Bs are winning. And I would say you guys are such experts that it is communication strategies. And for those of us that might have been on the fence, just knowing that this is communication strategy based off being honest that you don't know, directing the person to the right resource, maintaining clarity and trust, and ensuring that accurate information is all that is flowing. Okay, and jumping on to the second scenario, you notice the staff looks stressed and you say, you seem overwhelmed. Would you like to talk through what's on your plate and see where I can help? So when thinking of this scenario, which skill is being demonstrated by the volunteer? Again, feel free to put some things into the chat. If you want to come off mute, feel free to do that and just shout your answer out. We do have quite a few things. I see some A's and I see some C's.
Emotional intelligence.
Okay. Thank you so much. Rich, thanks for coming off mute.
You're
All right.
welcome.
That's wonderful.
All right, so since we have quite a bit of a mix in the match, since we have quite a bit of a mix in the chat, I'm going to go ahead and go with Rich's answer. And he said emotional intelligence A. Are we correct? Ah, we are. So this one was emotional intelligence. And again, it's okay if you're a little bit on the fence the first time seeing these. The reason why this is emotional intelligence is noticing those emotional cues, acknowledging the emotions, and responding supportively. Okay, and let's go one more. So this isn't necessarily the donor ambassador role. It is more of like a basic. So in a meeting, you notice that one of your colleagues is unusually quiet and withdrawing from the discussion. You notice their eyes are down and there are short responses. After the meeting, you approach and you say, "Is everything okay? I'm here if you want to talk, or if there's anything I can do to support you." When thinking of this scenario, which skill is being demonstrated by the volunteer? So feel free to put your answers in the chat. Come off mute. I think I saw a C pop in there.
Emotional intelligence.
Oh, we are there again. Okay. Thank you so much for coming off mute again. So we have emotional intelligence. I have some more
I think also relational awareness.
relational awareness. Okay. I think we have a mix of A and C's in the chat. All right, Rich, which one do you want to go with, A or C? I'll let you choose.
A. A for Rich.
A for Rich. All right, let's see if he's right. Is it emotional intelligence? Oh, that one's not correct. Okay, so eliminating A, which do we think it is out of B and C? Do we think it's communication strategy or do we think it's relational awareness? Okay, got some C's coming in. Have quite a few B's.
I think B for Rich.
B for Rich. All right, let's see. For communication strategy, let's go ahead and see. Or B, let's go ahead and B. And that one is not correct, but that's okay because this is a really tough one, right? So let's see what the correct answer is, and that is relational awareness. So the reason why it's relational awareness is noticing behavioral changes, checking in, offering support without making any assumptions. So those are the reasons why this one is relational awareness. That doesn't make the others incorrect. It's just more likely. relational awareness. So thank you all for participating, and thank you, Rich, for being brave enough to be another speaker in our call. So empathy-based communication helps blood drive volunteers connect with staff in fast-paced, high-demand settings. While you can only control your own responses, being intentional and relational allows you to better understand staff pressures and communicate with clarity. Next, we're going to learn how we integrate the 3 elements of synergy that we just mastered within the 5 empathetic communication skills that we learned earlier in this call. So synergy within empathetic communication. That synergy being the 3 lines to communication that we just spoke about. So up first, we have perspective taking. And relational awareness can help support perspective taking by helping you notice environmental pressures, role dynamics, and unspoken stressors affecting the staff behavior. Emotional intelligence can help by allowing you to regulate your own reactions while empathizing with others' emotional states. Communication strategy comes in by guiding you to frame certain messages that acknowledge constraints before addressing concerns or needs. Up next, bringing in our non-judgmental awareness. So relational awareness encourages observation without assumptions, recognizing patterns without personalizing our own behavior. Emotional intelligence helps to support by suspending blame and managing frustrations or disappointment constructively. Communication strategy enables neutral, respectful language that avoids accusations and defensiveness. Again, with our compassionate inquiry, we have a relational awareness, which is helping you choose the appropriate timing and tone when initiating sensitive conversations. Emotional intelligence helps us build our safety by responding to emotions with validations rather than problem solving too quickly. Bringing that care into our conversations is always very important. Communication strategy provides open-ended questions that invite dialogue and shared understandings. Being a little bit of a relational curious. So relational awareness helps to strengthen connection by recognizing individuals beyond roles and task functions. Emotional intelligence can encourage genuine interest and attunement to personal experiences and emotional cues. Communication strategies helps to balance curiosity with boundaries, ensuring that all of our conversations remain respectful and purposeful. And then, like everything else, finishing off with self. So emotional self-awareness. Bringing in relational awareness clarifies your emotions, influence interactions, and related dynamics. Bringing in emotional intelligence enables honest self-reflection and responsible expression of feeling without projection. Communication strategy helps support using I statements and clear intent to express needs without placing blame on others. And I'm going to go ahead and send it back to Judith to help us wrap up this module.
Thank you, Rebecca. Let me move on to the next slide. So remember, coming together is the beginning, keeping together is progress, and working together is success. And that's a quote by Henry Ford. Moving on, I want to say thank you to all of you. But before you leave, we have a few more things to share with you. In a moment, I'm going to be sharing upcoming dates for our next